Hello students, welcome again in social science class. Today we will start our 18th chapter, that is the Union Government, the Legislature. In the last chapter we had learned about the fundamental rights, fundamental duties and the directive principles of the state policy. Now we will move to the different levels of the government. As we study in the chapter 16 constitution that India opted for a federal form of government. So this chapter begins with the question, why did India opted for a federal form of government? Because India is a vast country with the diverse languages, religions, customs, traditions, lifestyle, climatic condition and geographical features. So it became difficult to have a single unified administrative setup. India is a diversity. In India, different languages are spoken, different religions are followed, different customs, traditions from north to south, east to west. So it's very difficult to have a single unified setup. So to make the unity in diversity and harmonizing the opposing force. Opposing force means somewhere the people are speaking the Hindi language, somewhere people are speaking the Malayalam, Tamil. So but they unite them in a one country and one nation, belong to one nation. They need must a federal form of government, a system which can harmonize all the opposing force. So India opted federal form of government and its main aim is to bring unity in diversity by harmonizing the opposing forces so as to achieve common national goals. You all know, students, what is federal form of government? When there are different levels of government. In simple language, we can learn what is federal when powers are divided between central government and the state government. That type of federation, that type of system of government is called federal government. So, in federal government, there are three levels in India: national level, state level, and grassroots level. At national level, we have a central government, and at the state level, there are state governments, and at the lowest level, we have the rural as well as urban local self government. स्टूडेंट, नेशनल गवर्नमेंट मीन्स दैट रिप्रेजेंट द होल नेशन कि इंडिया में कौन सी गवर्नमेंट चल रही है सेंट्रल लेवल पर. इसे हम यूनियन गवर्नमेंट भी कहते हैं और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी कहते हैं और नेशनल गवर्नमेंट भी. इट इज़ नॉन बाय थ्री नेम्स: नेशनल गवर्नमेंट, central government and union government. And below this we have 28 states now in India. So all the states have their own government, that is called state government. And below this there is a third level, that is local government. In 6th and 7th class you have already learned about the panchayati raj system. In rural area where there is a gram panchayat, block samiti and zilla parishad. And in urban area which urban local self body, that is municipal committee and municipal council or committee and municipal corporation. So in India we have the three levels of the government. Here students mention 29 states, but today India have 28 states, and all the states have their head of the state, that is called governor. Listen students, when you ask who is the head of the state of your nation, that is called president. In chapter 16 we learned that India called republic. What is the meaning of republic? It means the head of the state, that is president, is a elected person. Its position is not hereditary. जिन्हें हेड ऑफ द स्टेट कहा जाता है, फर्स्ट सिटीज़न कहते हैं हम प्रेसिडेंट को, वो हेड ऑफ द स्टेट होते हैं और वो इलेक्टेड पर्सन होते हैं. उनकी पोजीशन ये नहीं है कि एक जैसे राजा के बाद उसका बेटा राजा बनेगा या आगे उनके जो है ऐसे जो उनके परिवार के मेंबर कोई जो है उस राजगद्दी पे बैठेंगे, ऐसा नहीं है. रिपब्लिक का मीन्स हेड ऑफ द स्टेट दैट इज़ इलेक्टेड फ्रॉम द पीपल. Its elections are maybe indirectly elected, but they are elected amongst the people. That's why it is called republic. So head of the state of the nation is called president, but in all the states, their head of the state is called governor. And every state is governed by a council of ministers headed by a chief minister. Who is the head of the government in the state? Chief minister. But when you ask who is the head of the government at national level, or who is the head of the government of a country, then we say prime minister. So there is a difference. If you ask the head of the government in your state, that is chief minister, and head of the government of the country, that answer is prime minister. And if you ask who is the head of the state of only head of the state, then answer will be president. But if you ask who is the head of the state of your state, that is governor. Clear, student? Now let's learn about the different levels, the composition of the union government. First of all, union government. The topmost level of the government in India is यूनियन गवर्नमेंट. जो सबसे ऊपर वाला लेवल होता है, सबसे टॉप मोस्ट लेवल है, दैट इज़ यूनियन गवर्नमेंट. इट इज़ ऑल्सो नॉन एज सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड national government. And this government has three organs: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Like our body, students, if our body wants that it proper function, that all the organs work different work. Each organ has its own work function, and with the coordination of all organs, our body works properly. So as same in the government, for the proper functioning of the government, the powers are divided between the different organs of the government. And these above we discussed, that are the levels of the government. Here also power divided, because we say it is a federal government. फेडरल गवर्नमेंट मतलब पावर जहाँ डिवाइड है. दो तरह से पावर्स डिवाइड हैं. एक क्या है, जो डिफरेंट लेवल्स में हैं. वो लेवल्स कौन से हैं? यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड लोकल गवर्नमेंट. जो सबसे ऊपर है यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, उसके नीचे आएगा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, और सबसे नीचे कौन है? लोकल गवर्नमेंट, जो ग्रास रूट लेवल पर है. और इसी तरह पावर्स एक और तरीके से डिवाइड है. वो कैसे हैं? डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स. जो डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स होते हैं, ये पावर डिवाइड होती है हॉरिजॉन्टली. मीन्स दे ऑल आर एट द सेम लेवल. पावर्स उनकी अलग अलग हैं, लेकिन वो सभी एक ही लेवल पर हैं. In this chapter, we'll study about the Union Legislature. Its first organ. Union government has three organs, but we study about the only Union Legislature in this chapter. Union Legislature is called the Parliament. It is also known as Sansad. In India, we call the Parliament Sansad. We can say, what is the name of Indian Parliament? Sansad, which is bicameral. Bicameral means which has two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In this para, we will study what is the composition of union government. यूनियन गवर्नमेंट के अंदर क्या क्या शामिल है, कौन कौन शामिल होता है. सो यूनियन गवर्नमेंट हैज़ थ्री ऑर्गन: यूनियन लेजिस्लेचर, यूनियन एग्जीक्यूटिव एंड जुडिशरी. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एक लेजिस्लेचर. व्हेन वी से द वर्ड लेजिस्लेचर, इट मीन्स लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी. Union legislature which makes law, and in India its name is Parliament, and it is also known as Sansad. What union legislature called? Parliament, and its another name Sansad, and it is bicameral, means two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And second organ, that is union executive. What laws made by the legislature that are enforced by or implemented by the second organ, that is called union executive. And who comprise these? The President of India, Rashtrapati, the Union Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. This is the composition of union executive. And the third organ, if there is any dispute arise between the two state government or between the central and state government, between the people and the government, then who resolve all these disputes? There is a third organ, that is judiciary. So what is the composition of judiciary? The highest apex court of India is the Supreme Court of India, which has maximum 31 judges and headed by the Chief Justice of India. So this is the composition of union government. We can see this composition in the flow chart. Student, here this flow chart is a vertical, but according to my opinion, it must be the horizontal, because the union government has three organs, and but all these organs are at the same level. So when you make the flow chart, it must be the horizontal. This flow chart represents the hierarchical order. Here you can make the levels of the government. At the top, the union government, then state government, and then local government in rural area and urban area. But in the composition of union government, you must draw this flow chart in horizontal form, means all the three boxes parallel. First in legislature, that consists that is called parliament. It has two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Second, the executive, the president, the prime minister, and the union council of minister. Third one is the judiciary, the Supreme Court of India, the Chief Justice of India, and 31 maximum judges, 31. So it is the composition of union government. Now let's see, as we said that India is a federal government, means powers are divided, and these powers are clearly mentioned in the constitution. And our constitution maker, when they formed the constitution, they clearly mention which powers are under the central government and on which subjects the state government has the power. So that is the clearly written in the constitution. Why they written these things? Because to avoid any conflicts or overlapping of function in the future. Today maybe the people are agreeing what they have the power, but in future maybe there are some conflicts and overlapping of function. So to avoid these conflicts and overlapping, our constitution makers divide the powers of the central and state government in the three lists, that is union list, state list and concurrent list. Clear students? जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाया गया था तो हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन मेकर्स ने ये ध्यान में रखा था कि ताकि फ्यूचर में कोई भी ऐसा झगड़ा ना हो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के बीच में कि मेरे पास ये पावर है या सेंटर के पास ये पावर है, तो उनकी पावर्स को क्लियरली मेंशन कर दिया गया था कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के अंदर कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट किस सब्जेक्ट्स के ऊपर लॉ बनाएगी, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट किसके ऊपर बनाएगी। तो उनकी सारी पावर्स को थ्री लिस्ट में डिवाइड किया गया। और आपको इन लिस्ट से रिगार्डिंग क्या क्या याद करना है, मस्ट करना है ज़रूर, दैट इज़ द नंबर ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स, एग्जाम्पल ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स and who can make law on these subjects. These three things must you have remember. First of all, union list. All these subjects are showing in the picture, they are related to the union list. Union list which contains 97 subjects, and this list has a maximum subject. How many subjects in this list? 97 subjects, and all these subjects are of national importance, means the subjects which are the represent the nation and which are most important subject for the nation, that only the central government can take responsibility. It cannot be given to the state government, because for example like the currency in our country demonetization had done, it was not it cannot be done by any state government. So who has the power to legislate on these subjects? Union government. और law कहाँ बनते हैं? Legislature. तो who can make law on the subject of union list? Union legislature means parliament. यूनियन लेजिस्लेचर का क्या नाम है, क्या कहते हैं उसे? पार्लियामेंट। तो जितने भी सब्जेक्ट्स 97 सब्जेक्ट्स यूनियन लिस्ट के अंदर हैं जो कि नेशनल इम्पोर्टेंस वाले हैं, उन सभी पे लॉ बनाने का राइट जो है वो पार्लियामेंट के पास है। और एग्जांपल कौन सी है? डिफेंस, फॉरेन अफेयर, वॉर, पीस, रेलवे, post office, currency, foreign exchange, etc. Second list, the state list. It contains 66 subjects. How many subjects in the state list? 66 subjects like police, local government, public health and sanitation, agriculture, forest, etc. All these subjects are clearly mentioned in the state list. Here the picture of the subject of स्टेट लिस्ट. एग्रीकल्चर के रिगार्डिंग जो भी लॉ है वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट अपने स्टेट के अकॉर्डिंगली बनाते हैं. इसी तरह पब्लिक हेल्थ. सो हु हैज़ द पावर टू मेक लॉ ऑन दीज सब्जेक्ट्स? स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर. जैसे नेशनल लेवल पर यूनियन गवर्नमेंट के अंदर लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी है पार्लियामेंट, सेम इन द स्टेट्स वी हैव द लॉ मेकिंग बॉडी दैट इज स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर. वहाँ पर भी बाई कैमरल होता है. कुछ स्टेट्स के अंदर तो 2 होते हैं हाउसेस लेजिस्लेचर के, स्टेट बट मैक्सिमम स्टेट्स के अंदर हमारे एक ही है दैट इज़ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली, जिसे हम विधानसभा कहते हैं. तो जहाँ वर्ड लेजिस्लेचर आ गया, एल फॉर लेजिस्लेचर, एल फॉर लॉ मेकिंग, तो वो लॉ बनाते हैं. तो स्टेट के अंदर लॉ कौन बनाता है? स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर. एंड इन स्टेट लिस्ट 66 सब्जेक्ट्स आर इंक्लूडेड. And the subjects are local government, police, public health, sanitation. But listen students, the state government has power to make law on the subject of state list, but in certain circumstances, means when there is any emergency in the country or extraordinary situation in a country. You can take example from the present situation. COVID-19 situation चल रही है पूरे कंट्री के अंदर, where we are all are facing this problem, pandemic problem. Here the central government can take decision on the behalf of the state government. So when there is a certain circumstances, there is an emergency in the country, then the parliament means union legislature has the power to make subjects which are mentioned in the state list. Clear? Now third list, that is called concurrent list, and it has how many subjects? 52 subjects. How many subjects that the concurrent list contain? 52 subjects, which are marriage, divorce, transfer of property other than agricultural land, अडल्ट्रेशन ऑफ फूड स्टफ़. इसका मतलब कि फूड स्टफ़ के अंदर जो अगर मिलावट होती है, कुछ भी ऐसे करप्शन, धोखाधड़ी है, तो ड्रग्स और मेडिसिन, लेबर वेलफेयर, ऑल दी सब्जेक्ट्स कम अंडर द कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, हाउ मेनी सब्जेक्ट्स इन दिस लिस्ट? 52 subjects. Earlier there were 47 subjects when the constitution made, but present here are 52 subjects in the concurrent list. And who can make law? This is very important. Both on the subjects of concurrent list, both has the power, like the parliament as well as the state legislature can make law on the subjects enlisted in the concurrent list. But इन केस ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, मतलब कि अगर पार्लियामेंट और स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर के बीच में कभी भी डिस्प्यूट इन द सेंस कि उनमें कोई कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन या दोनों में जो अप्रूवल नहीं होता, वो कहीं ये बात माननी चाहिए इस तरह से लॉ बनेगा, तो फाइनल डिसीजन किसका माना जाता है? पार्लियामेंट का, यानी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का. द सेंट्रल लॉ प्रिवेल्स ओवर द स्टेट लॉ. सो who can make law on the subjects of concurrent list? Both parliament as well as state legislature can make law on the subjects of concurrent list, but in case of any conflict or dispute, the central law will prevail over the state law. Now all clear? These are the 3 lists: union list, state list and the concurrent list. But listen student, this constitution was made in 1949. It was completed in 1949 but enforced in 1950. But there were many subjects that were not included at that time in these 3 lists, and which arise later on. So the subjects which are not mentioned in the above 3 lists, जो सब्जेक्ट्स इन तीनों लिस्ट में मेंशन नहीं है, एंड दी राइज लेटर ऑन, जो बाद में जो है राइज हुए, दे on that subject, the central government means parliament has the power to make law, and these subjects called residuary subjects. What do you mean by residuary subjects? The subjects which are not mentioned in the above three list and which rise later on, and on these subjects the center and the parliament has power to make law. So these are called residuary powers or residuary subjects. Example: computer software, hardware, e-commerce, information technology. These are the examples of the residuary subjects. So clear, student? This is about the division of power between the central and state government under the three list. Next topic we will do tomorrow. Till then, bye.